welcome to the Buckets and Tea NBA show. I'm your host, Cathryn Naiker. Thanks so much for tuning into this week's episode. Today, we have special guest, friend to the show, fellow Nick Nurse fan. It's Kris Myers. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm warming up my vocal cords because it's been a while since I've been on Buckets and Tea, and I got to make sure I'm in prime speaking voice for you guys. I'm just coming off the injury list. I'm like just coming off from injury, getting warmed up again. Doing a little back stretches.
You look fantastic, and if anyone's watching this on YouTube, you have like the best lighting in your room. Like you look like you're in like a fancy recording studio. Like it's so cool. Like Olivia Rodrigo's about to like drop a new song wherever you're at.
I'm not a Zoomer, but I have full on Gen Z aesthetic going on right there. I've got the LED lights that change color and run around the roof of your room, and I've got like 80s throwback furniture, so I feel like I'm a Zoomer right now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not a Zoomer either, but there's literally like her or Billie Eilish I could have named right now. I don't even know if I would know anyone else to name.
Yep.
I don't know. But anyway, weird start, but but that's fine. That's fine. Just age myself in the first 30 seconds of the pod. No big deal. That might be a new record for this.
I also may have aged myself as well, but guaranteed if Cathryn is bringing it on, it's going to be a weird episode. Always. I always keep it weird.
I mean, that's the best part of this. All right. So we always start off with NBA first, and then we get into Raptors. Although some of our topics will probably spill into Raptors stuff a bit because they're killing it right now, and that's just sort of what it is. But I want to start off first by reviewing the MVP race. So the last episode I did with the lovely Katie Heindel, we talked about the MVP race being between Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. And the more I started to think about it, the more I'm like, wait a second, why are these the two leading the narrative? Not that they're having a bad season or that they don't deserve to be in the conversation, but the more I started to think about it, the more I'm like, both Giannis and frankly Devin Booker should really be in this conversation. They have very comparable stats. I think Devin Booker is just a little less in points right now. I'm going to kind of do this on the fly because I'm the type of person like I already have so many tabs open at once. The idea of opening 4 more tabs, wow, overwhelming. But anyway, so Devin Booker, aside from being, on the Phoenix Suns and having the team's, best record in the league, he averages 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists at a pretty high efficiency rate, 46% field goal percentage, just under 40% from 3, and 86.6 free throws. I mean, and he's also like played a lot of games this year. Now, he has missed some, but he's played a total of 65 games. I don't know, Kris, what do you think?
Well, 65 games in this season is impressive because I don't think there's sorry, my volume just went down for a second. I don't think there's any I don't think there's any particular player that has done the full run of games or will do a full run of games this year. I think just because of like COVID protocols and injuries, everyone was getting injured this year. Everyone was getting sick this year. So I almost feel like the games number is not, I wouldn't factor that in as much this year as I would in regular years. So like with Devin Booker at 65 games, I think that stats wise and impact on the team overall, I think Devin Booker really does have a compelling case for
and also just the fact that the team didn't dip when Chris Paul went out.
No, and far and away the Suns have been the best team in the NBA this year. They've been the most consistent, and they just are absolutely dominating the top of the West right now, and I think that should also be taken into consideration as well. It's one of the few teams that have like come out of the season relatively unscathed, aside from losing Chris Paul for the remainder of the season. I think that definitely needs to be taken into account. Like, and also, I mean, I'm not even necessarily like a big fan of like giving it to like the MVP to the star player of the best team in the league, but I feel this year they really, really deserve it because they've just been so dominant. Like, I think that even just like on a symbolic narrative level, I think Devin Booker deserves it. And he and having to take up that, because not that Chris Paul isn't effective. I thought, Chris is a key member of the team and he's a great veteran leadership presence. Having someone like Booker who's so young he's still in the early years of his NBA career, taking a step in terms of leadership and really guiding the team and taking on a lot of those responsibilities that Chris Paul had from before. I just think I think is really admirable, and I think he has an excellent case.
Yeah. Just a quick correction. Chris Paul has come back.
Oh, he has come back. Yes.
Yeah. That's okay. He only came back just a couple days ago.
Right. I did not notice that. Welcome back, Chris Paul.
It's all good.
I'm gonna watch some games again because you're back. Because I love you.
Well, I only noticed last night because I tuned into the game against the Warriors, and at one point, no joke, the broadcast announcer, I can't remember his name, but he was with Richard Jefferson. he referred to the Phoenix Suns as the reigning champions, and no one corrected him. I was like, what is going on?
God.
This is like an ESPN national broadcast. Like, wow, what a slap to the face. Like, I know like as Raptors fans, we're always like, you're looking over us, blah blah blah, all the time. People didn't forget that we won the championship.
We didn't let them forget.
That's true. We didn't let them forget, but I was like, that is bold. It's bold. Anyway, that's the only reason why I noticed, because I felt like it wasn't like a huge announcement that he was back, but he's back, and the Suns have won their last 9 games, and Chris Paul's only been back for the last 3. So it just goes to prove how much they haven't skipped a beat without him. And also they've won the most games in a regular season in their franchise history. Just now they've made that mark. So, there's a lot of significant stuff there. I think there's something to be said, like you said, for just being like extremely consistent throughout the season. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, we were kind of talking a bit before we started recording that there's just been such a lack of drama with this team that we haven't talked about them enough, but we all know they're gonna be there like deep in the playoffs, and we're just sort of like waiting for that to happen, I guess.
Yep, it's they'll start popping into view once playoffs happen. They clinched their spot ages ago. They're 62-14 right now, an 81% winning percentage. That is they're probably going to be finishing in the high 60s, which is incredible. If they decide to, keep going for the next 2 weeks and keep the streak up, depending on how Monty Williams wants to manage his players going into playoffs. So that's probably going to be a 66-14, probably realistically, just to allow their stars to rest up and
that's a good point. I hadn't considered rest, which I mean, if you're him, that actually really makes sense because you're pretty solidified in the first seed in the West. The Memphis Grizzlies are several games back.
Yeah, they are at 54-23, so they are 8.5 games back from the Suns.
So you're not going to lose the first seed.
Yeah, it's mathematically impossible for Phoenix to lose the top seed. So if I were Monty Williams, being secure in the first seed, I'd probably run some G League teams towards the end there against some weaker teams and give your younger players some run and get ready for playoffs, because all signs are pointing that they're probably going to be in a finals matchup with God knows who in the East right now. But
yeah.
I think they're the clear favorite, the clear favorite to come out the West.
Yeah. The other one I wanted to talk about was also Giannis. So Giannis is averaging just shy of 30 points per game, 11.6 rebounds, and just under 6 assists. Also very high efficiency rates, 55% field goal percentage, 30 from 3, but you don't expect Giannis to hit the 3 that consistently. And his free throw percentage, we know how Giannis is, but it's at 72%. So definitely not the worst, but it's also, they've had a lot of injuries, but they've tried to be as consistent as they can be. They're second in the East currently, but we don't know what that means considering all those teams are basically a game apart.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I think with Giannis, because he's already won it, it has such historical significance for him to have. Would that be his third MVP?
It would be his third.
Yeah, because he won back to back, right? And then people were disappointed because they didn't have the playoff success to go with it. And now that he's a champion, although everyone seems to forget, especially ESPN for some reason, do you almost give him one retroactively? Because I think there's a lot of historical significance to give Jokic 2 in a row.
Yeah, I think.
And then it's like, if they're a first round exit and he wins back to back MVPs, it's like people are going to look back at that and not necessarily appreciate that either.
Mm-hmm. That's 72% from the field from Giannis. It's a market improvement, because
that's free throw.
Oh, free throw. Yeah, but still, from the free throw line, that's a market improvement for Giannis. Because I remember like 2 seasons ago, he was averaging like 66 from the line, something ridiculously low for a player of his caliber. So good for Giannis, still plugging away and still getting better, and he's just about to hit his prime.
He just like reads like 3 dad jokes out of a book and then throws the book aside and then hits a free throw. You know what I mean? Like, it's part of his process now.
That sounds like Giannis.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that Jokic or Embiid don't have very strong cases. They absolutely do. Actually, their numbers are incredibly comparable to Giannis, and they're all 3 of them, Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, are averaging double doubles in terms of points and rebounds. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying that the argument isn't there. I'm just saying that, like, it should be a tighter race, and I absolutely think Giannis and Devin Booker should be serious parts of that conversation.
Those 3 are all big men.
Yeah.
All bigs. They're all super versatile big men. I think,
who says the center's dead? You know what I mean?
No, the center is like, it's either like positionless basketball, or you have like your star player is the center, right?
Yeah, or you're stuck with Kristaps Porzingis for some reason. But anyway, I just felt like throwing a jab for no reason.
Or Wizards. Yeah, they're all bigs, and they're all really super versatile bigs too, that can score at any time and just dominate in the paint. Yeah, it's like we've either gone like completely positionless or like superstar big. That's new. I feel like that's a very, very new thing. I also think Giannis definitely has a very strong MVP case. Bucks are second in the East. They've been pretty consistent. But I think I feel less bad about Giannis not getting it this year, because I think there's still a chance for him to get a 3rd or 4th regular season MVP award for him. I think he has so much time. He's still super young, and he's just hitting his prime. So there is time for him to get even better and win even more awards. He's a proven winner. He's a champion, even though ESPN forgot about it, because if the Bucks have always been sort of low key and ignored, kind of like the Raptors. I think we definitely have that in common with them. But I think Giannis still has so much time, and he feels very loyal to Milwaukee. And yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. Not that he doesn't deserve it, but I just feel like, no, he's got time. He's got time.
So with all of that being said, who is your MVP this year?
I think I would give it to Jokic, or I would give it to Booker.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you can give Giannis 2 years ago a regular season MVP, I think you could definitely justify giving it to Jokic and just sort of keeping the Nuggets in the game. And they're well coached too. Malone's fantastic. And the fact that they've been, managing pretty well without Jamal Murray. I miss Jamal a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And his presence is definitely missed. And if he were in the series, if he were playing with the Nuggets this year, I think they would definitely be higher ranked. Like they'd be up there with the Grizzlies and the Mavericks in the top seeds. But I think because of where they are in the standings, they're 6th right now. I think they're 6th or 7th in the West right now. Let me double check that. They're
5th. They just moved up. The Jazz have lost 5 in a row.
Oh, I remember the last time I was on your pod, I was saying the Jazz might have a good chance because they weren't getting sick and they've been consistent. Unfortunately, my prediction seems to be wrong on that one.
I was really kind of like betting on the Jazz last season, and then I was like, I can't bet on you again.
No, they are. I am sadly, I haven't learned my lesson to never bet on the Utah Jazz.
Well, and like I mean, it might be kind of shady of me, but like I haven't been watching a lot of Jazz games, so I don't actually know why they've lost 5 in a row. Yeah. But suddenly they are only 2 games out from the play-in. I mean, the Timberwolves have lost 2 in a row.
Although Rudy Gobert is on the injury list right now, so he's not playing for them. So that explains that. That's probably why they've dropped in the standings a fair bit. They were doing fine earlier in the season when Rudy Gobert was in full health, but he's been out for a little while, and that's definitely caused the team to take quite a hit offensively and defensively. So that's why the Nuggets have been able to overtake them. But the fact that the Nuggets are in 5th right now, with I think I'm more willing to give Jokic the MP3 and have him do like 2 in a row. But I also
said MP3 and I love you.
MP3. Oh my goodness. It's been a while.
You do look like you're in a recording studio, so it really it makes sense.
It's been a while. I'm sorry.
This podcast turns into an MP3 eventually. So.
True. It does. My podcasting muscles still need to be stretched out, and the podcasting muscle being my brain. I would be more forgiving of Jokic as the MVP. I almost said DVP, like Don Valley Parkway. Oh my god, I need to stop. I'd be more willing to accept Jokic getting the award again, but I would prefer if Devin Booker got it, simply because the Suns have just been so good, and he's been so good, and they've just been quietly dominating the West for so long, and I think he should definitely get it. The Suns need to win something. They need to win an award this year. Like Booker needs to win MVP, or like Monty Williams needs to be like Coach of the Year or something. They deserve recognition.
I think Monty Williams is a lock for Coach of the Year.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah,
that's good because
I think that's a lock.
Because he's my pick too. He needs to be Coach of the Year.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like Spoelstra might get some votes, but that Miami brawl, I don't know, and that he might get more votes because of the Miami brawl.
Yeah, but handle the egos on the Miami Heat, who are second, and I think they're second right now in the West or first? No, they are first in
They are first
I
currently
take that
still.
back.
As we record this, which is on Thursday, March 31st. And I say that because this can very well change by the time the episode's out. But yeah, I mean, Spoelstra might get some votes. I think Billy Donovan in Chicago had some momentum earlier in the season, but I don't think that's there now.
No, they've lost many games. They've dropped too far in the standings.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm pretty sure Monty Williams is a lock for
Yeah.
that. So yeah, maybe that's how voters will look at it. Like they're gonna get coach of the year. And Jokic's stats, we read the other, so I might as well read his. He's at 26.5 points a game, 13 rebounds, 8 assists. The 8 assists is especially impressive. With 58% field goal percentage. So again, really high efficiency there. 34% from 3, which I think was a bit higher than Giannis. And 81 from the free throw line.
He's almost averaging a triple-double.
Yeah, like, he's really close. He's 2 assists away from a triple-double. Yeah.
Just a triple-double average.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do think it probably does still go to Jokic, but I just think that, like, Booker should have been a bigger part of the conversation throughout the season is all, I guess I'm really saying. But yeah, okay, so let's turn our attention towards another award, and that is Rookie of the Year. So, my question for you is, so Evan Mobley has an injury right now. The poor Cavs just falling apart at the end right now. And I'm wondering, do you think that this changes his narrative for Rookie of the Year? Because he was pretty much leading this the whole season. Yeah, he rolled his ankle a few days ago. Do you think he still comes out on top? Or do you think Cade or even Scottie Barnes can make a last minute push here?
No. I'm just gonna say it from now to future listeners who may be going through the buckets and tea archives. Justice for Scottie Barnes. Justice for Scottie Barnes, okay? Scottie Barnes should be Rookie of the Year. He will not win Rookie of the Year. I'm very sad to admit that. If I am wrong, you can flood my Twitter DMs with "haha, you were wrong." But I'm pretty sure Evan Mobley still has it pretty locked.
Yeah, that's okay. I hope that like I would hate to see you get any haters over that. And the buckets and tea archives are hard to find now because I merged with the entire Rapcast podcast feed. So I think it has to be a direct link that I sent to somebody now. But it does still exist if anyone's trying to cancel me for something. No, this hasn't existed for that long.
They'll be writing in to you to make sure that you cancel me so I never come on your show ever again for being mean to Scottie Barnes. And this is not me being mean to Scottie Barnes. I'm just I in my heart of hearts, in my heart of Raptor homiest hearts, I think Scottie Barnes should be Rookie of the Year. The numbers support him in terms of like overall impact he's had on the team and win share and all of that stuff. He should win. He's not going to because of Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley's amazing, and I just feel like the narrative has spoken on that, so to speak. Kind of like how I almost feel like that's it feels like a certainty, even though Cleveland's kind of faltering a little bit at the end here. But it's the play-in, they're probably going to play in the play-in, but I don't know if the play-in really counts for like regular season.
No, I don't think it does.
No. So like, yeah, if you look at the overall regular season he's had with Cleveland, I just think the media is just going to reward him and over Scottie, even though I think like especially recently.
Well, the numbers between Scottie Barnes, Evan Mobley, and Cade Cunningham are really, really close.
They are close.
And I think if there was more regular season to be had, then Evan Mobley might lose it in the last stretch. But I don't think from a voter's perspective, they're going to pay enough attention to the Raptors or the Pistons to make up their mind either way. But I do think it's really close. And the Pistons have been pushing Cade for Rookie of the Year more and more. I don't know if they're pushing for him harder than Matt Devlin is pushing for Scottie Barnes. It kind of throws me off when he says Scottie Roy, because it makes me think of the show Succession.
Yeah.
Because their last names are Roy. So I'm like, wait, what?
Long lost family member, Scottie Roy Barnes.
Yeah, that would be a very odd. That'd be a very odd cameo. I can't see Scottie Barnes on Succession. He's just too sweet.
That would be a very, very bad storyline on Succession.
That's a real jump the shark episode.
Yep.
Scottie Barnes on Succession.
Please don't do it, HBO.
He's just such a baby face. Like, I can't see it at all. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I just thought I'd put the question out there because I started questioning myself about how I feel about all these awards. I do think it's really close. Like, I do think as a result of this injury, Cade Cunningham, especially Cade, is going to get more votes because he does lead everybody in points.
That is true. He does lead everyone in points. I will give Cade that. I just feel
he also leads everyone in assists.
Yeah, I just feel that you don't necessarily have to be on the best team, but I think you should be on a better team.
You just think you shouldn't be on the worst team?
Yeah, you shouldn't be on the worst team. Rookie of the Year shouldn't be on the worst team. Should be on at least an average team.
Yeah, but I guess sort of the counter to that would be like trying to give another team some sort of like encouragement.
That is fair. That is very fair.
Yeah, I think Mobley gets it, but I think overall, like, this rookie class is like fairly sensational, and I think it's one of those rookie classes we'll look back at and be like, wow, that was really, really strong.
That was a really solid draft class. Yep.
Yeah, like more than people thought.
Yeah, you've got at least 3 or 4 generational players coming out of that rookie class, which is very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's far more memorable than last year's rookie class, I think, for sure. Like,
as you said that, my eyes widened. I was like, wait, who the hell were the rookies last year?
Right? See, that just proves my point.
Now this is bugging me. Who was the Rookie of the Year last year?
Melo Ball.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, LaMelo being probably the only really memorable. I mean, Anthony Edwards too.
Yeah, I was gonna say Anthony Edwards, but James Wiseman has been injured basically all year.
Yeah, he
hasn't panned out yet.
Yeah, hasn't quite panned out yet. It's still early on. They're still only in their second season, so things can change. But it's this rookie class has been the clear winner in terms of the last maybe 4 or 5 years of rookie classes.
I don't know if I'd go back that far.
Maybe not. Save for I'd say
because there's the Trey Luka year.
I would go back to Trey Luka.
And there's the well, we don't know what's happening with Zion, but Zion, John Morant, yeah. But anyway,
I think I would definitely say going back to Trey Luka. That's I feel like it's sort of like that level of impact this year, except it's at least 3 players instead of just those 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the rookie. You can make a compelling argument for any of them, even though my Raptors Homer heart of hearts says Scottie should win it and totally should. And I feel like he's had the most impact, but yeah, I'm not upset too much. Just a little.
You're just disappointed. I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed.
A little disappointed that it's not going to be Scottie.
Yeah. Although, I don't know. It could change. We don't know that for a fact. We just think the narrative won't shift enough in time.
I could be pleasantly surprised, just like us picking Scottie Barnes on draft night instead of Jalen Suggs.
Everybody needs to we all need to have a collective Throwback Thursday where we recall our Jalen Suggs takes and have a nice little laugh and sigh and just pat our little Raptors anxiety, just comfort it somehow and put it away.
I might have been one of the very few people that was super happy with that pick because I
Sure, let's go back to Twitter and find out.
Oh yeah, no,
No,
I dug up my receipts the other day, and what I did was when I saw it happen, it was me and someone else from Raptors Twitter posted the ha 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 meme with the guy wearing the Sickos t-shirt looking in the window, going ha 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 yes, and that was my reaction to the Scottie Barnes draft getting picked at 4. It's just like it's gonna be great, and it was.
I love that.
Yeah.
But also you can interpret that as just like, ha ha ha, look at us shaking things up, not like, oh, this is going to be great. So there's really nice spin on that, Kris. Congratulations.
Up to interpretation, but I was genuinely excited for. I was genuinely excited.
I was excited for his turtleneck in July. I was like, this man won't complain that it's cold, which is what we need.
I'm wearing a turtleneck too. For all of our YouTube viewers who get to see my pretty face, I'm also wearing a turtleneck.
Okay,
it's not as nice as Scottie Barnes's, but I
it's fantastic.
Appreciate.
We okay, we got to move on, Kris. We're like diving into your turtleneck now.
I told you it was gonna get weird. I warned you.
Okay, let's look at the East. All right, we need to look at the East standings. It is, as we know, a very, very tight race. Every Raptors fan is watching this extremely closely. My thing, what I was thinking about before we started recording is if you're the Heat or the Bucks who stand at 1 and 2 currently in the Eastern Conference, how would you feel if you ended up facing the Brooklyn Nets in the first round?
I think it would depend on the matchup because I think I would feel differently if I were different teams. I think if I were the Bucks, I would be pretty confident because you would have momentum from the second round last year, even though they narrowly escaped the second round with the Nets because of Kevin Durant's slightly shortened toe. And if he had half a shoe size more, that would have been a 3-pointer, and they probably would have won and gone onto the chip. But I think that might be a slightly less intimidating matchup if I'm the Bucks than I am if I am the Heat. I mean, the Heat are the top of the East right now, but
you're not confident in that team?
I'm not confident in them. I don't know why. Kyle Lowry aside, I'm not sure if I
was it the brawl.
It might have been the brawl that may have changed my opinion of them somewhat. It almost sort of, I hope it resolves before playoffs, but it feels like I feel like that tension could maybe get in the way in playoffs and throw things off. But hopefully, if I'm the Heat and I'm playing the Nets, I hope, maybe I can beat them. And the Nets just haven't been as consistent either. So it could be kind of a toss-up. But,
well, it's just, like I mentioned it because it's funny to me that people are trying to, like the Raptors is trying to get out of the play-in for obvious reasons, but I feel like the narrative is more about like getting out of the play-in so you don't have to face the Nets.
Yeah,
but I think it would be worse to face the Nets in the first round of the playoffs because if you're 7th in the East, which currently the Cavs are, if you lose that game, you have a second chance between the Hornets or the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a very winnable game. And I think I'm not a fan of the Nets, but if they're locked in, you don't want to face that team.
No. Yeah, I don't want to face that team unless even then, if I'm the Bucks, like even then I'm still a little wary. Like I still think my chances are better if I'm the Bucks.
If you're the Bucks, you only have to lose 2 games.
Yeah.
And the Sixers win 2 games for this to suddenly not be a problem anymore.
Yep.
It's just very wild to me that like that isn't a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
Like, are they not afraid of the Nets? I mean, not that they would ever admit it.
Yeah.
But like I would be.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like the only reason they're in 8th is because of injuries and availability.
Yeah.
That's it. Like they're not in 8th for any other reason.
Nope. It is not a reflection of the quality of the team at all. It's just circumstantial.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't put this question in, but I'm gonna ask before we move on to our Raptors Homer Moment, and this is sort of an early introduction into that segment. Out of the top 4 teams currently sitting in the East, so the Heat, the Bucks, the Sixers, or the Celtics, who would you prefer to face off in the first round?
That's a tough question, because all of those matchups are difficult for us. I think in terms of precedent, I think a Sixers Raptors matchup would be not so bad, because I feel like we sort of have a handle on Embiid. You know, the X factor now being James Harden, but I think that in terms of our skill sets, we're pretty capable of containing the Sixers, and I think that we could make that a really interesting series with them. I think that we could make that another 6 or 7 game series with the Sixers easily, and I think that might be pretty winnable for us. The Celtics are a bit of a question mark for me because of injuries and that game from a few nights ago where we had to slug it out in OT against a depleted Celtics team.
A very depleted team.
So it's not.
I was less excited about that win than most people, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was entertaining to watch, but I'm like, they are missing 4 out of 5 starters. Like this is not good.
They're missing their best. They're missing all their best players, and the fact that it took that much to beat them, I'm happy for that dub because we really needed it. Yes. But I don't want 7 games of that. I just don't. That Boston series from the bubble was stressful enough on me. I don't know if I could handle that again.
Oh my God. And I have said several times that bubble series, we made Daniel Tice look like a damn all-star in that series, and I do not want to go through that again.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that either. I think my ideal matchup would be the Sixers because we just we have their number a lot of the time. And
yes, and we can play on their trauma instead of another team playing on ours.
Exactly.
There you go.
I say we take advantage of. So my matchup would be the Sixers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not going to say I am confident against any of these top 4 teams in a playoff series. Let's be clear. We would not be a favorite in any of these. But I think the Sixers would be my pick because I'm not a big believer in their depth. No. That's really what it comes down to. Thybulle's good, but they lost Seth Curry in that trade, and I think that was pretty significant. And James Harden, I feel, is maybe inclined to sleep on us a bit. And he hasn't, he's just not his former self at this point anymore. And we do have enough defensive weapons, I guess, to throw at him. And we've been talking a lot about how Pascal has improved and he's gotten back to his all NBA level, and that's super, super exciting, and I'm so excited for that. But I've been very impressed and surprised by Precious Achiuwa's growth since the All-Star break, and I feel more confident in his defensive abilities. I mean, Embiid's going to get his, but I do feel a lot more confident in his defensive abilities than I did only a few months ago. So that would be my pick as an ideal matchup. And if it started today, that would be the matchup. But yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say that like we're the favorite.
No, I'm not sure if we're the favorite, but I think in terms of just like historical precedent, at least under the Nick Nurse system, Embiid and Harden seem to be two of the superstars that post Kawhi leaving, we've been able to have like a good handle on. Like, I was there for the 0 point Embiid game a couple seasons back, and since then that we've found a lot of ways to just contain that team and contain Embiid and Harden as well. We always give Harden a hard time because we're always like doubling him and tripling him and just throwing everything we have at Harden. And I find that that's usually pretty effective. Like it doesn't win us games all the time, but he is one of the more higher power, one of the higher caliber players that are a little easier for our team to handle. So, and considering the lack of depth, as you said, on the Sixers, I think we've got a really good chance of winning that series. I don't know. I'm definitely not the favorite, but we've definitely got a fighting chance in that series. So that would be my personal preference. The other ones are a little scary to me.
I completely agree. With that, okay, let's officially move into our Raptors Homer moment now.
All right.
This Sunday, Kyle Lowry is making his return finally to Toronto. He has not played a game in Toronto since before the pandemic.
That's
right? Like he hasn't actually been here in over 2 years.
It's wild.
It is so wild to think about. Like he's worn our jersey, of course, and he played for us. But like what I mean is like he's worn like things that say Toronto on them, but he hasn't physically been in Toronto in 2 years.
Yeah,
we never. So he's finally coming back. You know, I don't have tickets to this game. But people who did, thinking it was going to be Kyle's second return, lucked out because it is the return. How are you? Are you prepared? Have you purchased snacks? Are you thinking about that already? Where are you at with this?
I am in a good place with Kyle because I've watched, and I haven't been watching as many Heat games lately. I haven't really been watching a lot since he went on that personal leave for a little while. I kind of lost track of Heat games, but I've seen enough Heat games where I've gotten a little used to Kyle being in the Heat jersey. So it's not too surreal for me, but I think the surreal part's gonna hit is when I see him at Scotiabank and he's not a Raptor. I just think that that's going to be the point where it finally kind of hits me. And I have snacks. I have many snacks. I'll probably have to bake something.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I should make something. I should make a special baked good for the return of Kyle Lowry, but I don't know what kind of dessert I would make in Kyle's honor. Maybe something like a pecan pie or something Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah,
of the Thanksgiving drive.
As you said it, I was like something hearty.
Yeah,
you
know? like a pecan pie, or like something with like a pumpkin or a sweet potato pie. Something really hearty.
Yeah. So unrelated to Kyle, I was having a day, and I ordered Domino's pizza, and then I ordered a lava cake, and I was so disappointed in the lava cake that I told myself I should just make these myself. And then I looked up how to make lava cakes, and it's not as hard as it looks.
No.
So I'll probably and I actually have, because I do enjoy baking. I have literally all the ingredients already. Because I have like leftover chocolate chips and stuff from another recipe. Maybe I'll just bake lava cakes for myself, and
Yeah,
then I can emotionally eat all of them.
emotional baking and emotional eating for Kyle Lowry. Okay, so you're gonna make chocolate lava cakes, which excellent choice for Kyle.
Yeah,
I feel like he would be a chocolate lava cake fan. And then I'm gonna make some kind of pie or dessert that you would make normally make at Thanksgiving with sweet potato pecan.
because you're thankful for his time here.
I'm very thankful for his time here. I'm going to give thanks to Kyle and all the
Via desserts.
via desserts in his honor. I still have the photo of him pointing at the Larry O'Brien at the parade. I still have a big framed photo of that in my room.
Mm.
And every time I look at that photo, I feel warmth and gratitude for him being such a wonderful player and being a great person for Toronto and being an ambassador of the city spirit. So like I'm just grateful. I'm not mad. I'm happy. It's when you have like a really good breakup and you're just like happy for your ex. That's just how I feel about Kyle Lowry.
You're happy for your ex.
I got closure. I got lots of closure.
Yeah.
I've seen them thrive at a distance. It's good. It's nothing but love.
It's gonna be so weird when he takes a charge.
Yeah. I think of Kyle Lowry every time.
I hope they don't give it to him. I hope they make it a blocking foul, even if it's a clear charge.
Yeah.
I just feel like he can't take a charge against us. It just feels unnatural.
That would feel very strange.
Yeah. And then he's gonna try so hard to get that crowd reaction and everything. I'm pretty sure he's gonna cry.
Yeah, I think he's gonna.
I don't know what the official over/under is on that, but I think he's gonna cry. I'll probably cry. I'll probably cry when he cries.
Yeah, if he cries, I'll cry.
That's the big question. Will I cry before Kyle? I'm not sure.
Should we?
Unless I start crying right now, in which case, yes, I've officially cried before.
Preemptively.
It's like when you call like shotgun days in advance of a road trip.
I was just gonna say, if you need to cry on camera, I'm here for you.
Oh,
I will try
sweet.
to send a box of Kleenex through the camera, through the internet to you.
Thank you. Well, we I don't do the Raptors Republic lives, so which is probably for the best. So that won't be a huge issue. But man, I can't believe it's finally gonna happen. And you've inspired me to bake lava cakes, something that's just been on my mind over the last week after that horrendous lava cake via Domino's Pizza. And that's gonna be my plan. That's gonna be fun for us. Okay, so I have a silly question for you, even though the last question was already silly, but that's what we do here. We've got Matt Devlin doing all our games. It started off with Freddie All-Star, made him an All-Star. Now we've got all NBA Siakam, right? And now even in the US, he's a part of all the all NBA conversations now. And now we already said it earlier, Scottie Roy. If Matt Devlin is this powerful, this is my question for you. If we get Matt Devlin to call me Cathryn Naiker 25 times in 2 months, will it come true? And for those who don't know, a CSA is a Canadian Screen Award.
Yes. It's are you nominated for a Canadian Screen Award?
No, not yet. Although I don't think any of the shows I worked on were eligible in time.
Maybe next
year.
Have Matt Devlin start from now. Get some juju going.
Yes.
Get some momentum going. And I think that could be possible.
I tweeted out that Matt Devlin should call me Cathryn Naiker, but that was too ambitious.
That's very ambitious.
was like, Cathryn, bring it down a notch. I
would,
just thought EGOT was funny because of the initials, but yeah.
it is very funny. But I would never put that much pressure on anyone, let alone myself or any of my friends.
Like, only so many people on the planet have an EGOT, but I'm like, I'm gonna write a TV show, I'm gonna write a play, I'm gonna write a movie, and then a comedy album, and somehow we'll put it together.
Some way.
Somehow, no, but a CSA is far more realistic. Right. It's just this thing that Matt has been doing this season that I have to point out, just this manifesting. It's like something new he's really brought to the calls. I'm noticing it more. Like, I feel like he doesn't shout out like cities and places across Canada as much or at all. But he's doing this like manifesting thing for the players, and it's really like, I feel like it's working.
I feel like there's something about Matt Devlin's voice, perhaps, or his cadence. He's not necessarily like the most exciting announcer in the NBA, but there is something oddly hypnotic about his voice when I find when I listen to broadcasts, and I find that perhaps subliminally he's having an effect on people who are watching Raptors home feeds of games and slipping through very, very not so subtle suggestion that, oh yeah, we should definitely vote for Pascal Siakam for all NBA and Freddie VanVleet for all defense and Scottie Barnes for rookie of the year.
Well, he hasn't started the Freddie all defense.
I'm putting that suggestion out there. Just all the awards. Everyone gets an award. Every Raptor gets an award. We're gonna get like most player for Precious Chua. We'll get another Cody for Nick Nurse. Something. We'll do something. Something for everybody. Gary Trent Jr. is Mr. Congeniality because everyone in Toronto seems to love Gary Trent Jr. and I think he deserves an award for that.
Yeah. He really is.
I think Gary Trent Jr. just deserves an award for being so likable and so good.
And so good looking.
Yeah. My mom jokes about how good looking Gary Trent Jr. is and how good looking she thinks she is. And I say, you and half the women of Toronto, Mom. Not that he isn't good looking. He's very good looking. But he's very popular, and I think he just get an award for popularity.
Honestly, if your mom was in that lineup, she would really stand out. She would stand out, and I think she would have a chance.
He would be.
He would definitely notice her.
Yeah, he would notice my mom.
Yeah, he absolutely would. With that, let's end this with even more silly shenanigans as we always do. That is our Nick Nurse Hottie Moment. Kris, for anybody who doesn't know, Kris is my number one Nick Nurse researcher. Really is well, you're on the pulse of everything, but I find, you're so good at finding all the Nick Nurse stuff. I'm so terrible. I didn't read this very interesting article that you sent me, but he was featured in the Toronto Star earlier this week. And do you want to tell us a bit about it? I'm asking you to bail me out of this segment, Kris.
Yes. So there was an article in the Star. If you remember, I'd say like about a year ago, there was a feature on Nick Nurse in GQ magazine about jazz music and how much he likes Thelonious Monk. So this same author pitched his very first story to the Toronto Star about Nick Nurse and his cousin and how they have sort of like a weird 2-member book club. And his cousin sends Nick Nurse all these different books to read because Nick Nurse is a man of letters and has it's been officially confirmed that he does have his PhD.
Man of letters.
Yes, he's an official man of letters. He is a doctor nurse now. And so I was
I'm shocked that hasn't caught on more all season long.
Yeah,
like he's got that pinky ring because of having a doctorate now. I can't believe That's something that Matt Devlin should be doing on the call too, calling him Dr. Nurse.
Call him Doc Nurse. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. If everyone was calling him Dr. Nurse.
Something I've wondered all year long.
Yeah. And the article did confirm that he does have his PhD now. He has graduated, and he's got his full doctorate in philosophy, of all things. It's a doctor of philosophy, and he's.
You know what I gotta do? Sorry. As we are talking about this, so earlier today on the Raptors show with Will Liu and Alex Wong, they went on this whole tangent about how the Raptors have like a nickname problem. Like none of the guys have like really good nicknames or are fans of their own nicknames and stuff like that. I'm gonna message Alex Wong tonight and be like, why aren't we calling Nick Nurse Dr. Nurse? And well, let's see if they talk about it. I'm gonna message him and I'm gonna see if they talk about it on the show. I really want this to be a conversation.
If we have a playoff series with Philly, we have to start calling Nick Nurse Doc Nurse. We have to. We have to do it. We would just to mess with Philly fans because of Doc Rivers. So you have Doc Nurse versus Doc Rivers. Okay, that has to be a thing. This is why the Philly series has to happen.
Yes, you're absolutely right. This is the true manifestation of everything. Forget my CSA. That has to wait till next year. For now, it has to be all about this.
Yeah, that has to happen. That joke needs to be made. Matt Devlin has to call Nick Nurse Doc Nurse on a broadcast at least once because he's a doctor now. He's an actual doctor now.
I love this so much. Just to recap, that Toronto Star article is about Nick Nurse's love of books and how he shares books with his cousin. He has a copy of
Sapiens on his desk, and that made me very happy. It's all like coaching, literature, Sapiens. I'm like, oh, cool, based Nick Nurse, amazing.
It's one of those books that like so many people have read. I've read that book, and I'm not an avid reader necessarily, but it was one of those I picked up during the pandemic books.
Yeah, I love that book. That's one of my favorite books I've read in the last little while. I love Sapiens, and I was very happy to see that a copy of that sitting on his desk. And he gave a biography of Thelonious Monk as well, which is highly rated. Sneaking in that love of jazz again. He's very, very big on Thelonious Monk. So I think there was another article recently that that talked about his big jazz record collection as well. He has something like 3,000 records in his collection, which is massive. He bought a portion of it off like a jazz collector a few years ago. So now he has like this archive of rare jazz records as well. So I feel like between like Sapiens and jazz records, I feel like Nick and the doctorate, I feel like Nick Nurse has gone like full intellectual off the court. Like I bet like it's not even his real voice. I bet in secret he like
he puts on a British accent.
Like Mr. Peabody. Sherman and Mr. Peabody. He's like the Mr. Peabody, quiet you.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
And the whole Iowa thing is a ruse to keep people off this train.
Yeah, I mean, all that time in Europe, how did he keep that Iowan accent, right?
He kept it on thick, right?
Oh my goodness. Well, Kris, we have reached the end of what has otherwise been an absolutely delightful episode. Thank you so much for joining me and having a lovely, silly time. I seriously am going to message Alex Wong about Dr. Nurse. I don't think I have this kind of power or pull, but I promise everyone who listens that I will try. Go ahead. Yeah.
Start the Doc Nurse campaign right now.
People will know that it started right here on this show with Kris and myself. And Kris, Great.
Yeah.
Look at us attempting to contribute to pop culture. Kris, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Let us know where we can find you on the internet.
Yes. I've unprivated my Twitter now, so you can find me and you can follow me, and I might even talk to you at at Kris__Myers. So it's KRIS__MYERS, Myers like Mike Myers. And I will talk to you about basketball or weird movies. I might share some of my baking with you. You never know. I got my flowers are starting to grow in my garden. You can get some flower updates as well, and just stuff like that. I'm more social these days. I'm a little more open to talking to random strangers on the internet about basketball.
Just in time for the playoffs. So that's a good time for that to kick in. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at itsme_Cathryn, spelled CATHRYN. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.